everyone, ako si Atasha.
Hello, I'm Ashley.
Hello guys, I am Dexter.
Hello, ako naman si Romer.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our podcast where we talk about things that matter. My name is Dash, and for today's topic, pag-uusapan natin ang isa sa pinaka-proudest moments of our country. And that is Maria Ressa winning the Nobel Peace Prize back in 2021. And for today's episode, may mga kasama tayo na makakatulong sa atin na himayin at alamin kung gaano nga ba kalaga ang pagkapanalo ng isang Pilipino sa isang prestigious award. And so without further ado, papakilala na sila.
Hello guys, I am Dexter.
Hello everyone, ako si Atasha.
Hello, I'm Ashley.
Hello, ako naman si Romer.
Hello guys. So ayan, as I mentioned before, we're going to talk about Maria Ressa winning the Nobel Peace Prize back in 2021. And to give a little context lang, she was the first ever Filipina to win the Nobel Peace Prize. And she won it along with Dmitry Muratov from Russia. Sa mga hindi pa nakakapanood ng acceptance speech or rather yung Peace Prize lecture ni Maria Ressa, we will be putting the link in the comment section. If you guys want, you can watch it first and then go back to our podcast. And so yeah, for further additional context lang, Dexter, I wanted to ask you a question. How crucial is this award, especially for our country, and why do people need to know about this historic event?
So, hi guys. So, sino nga ba si Maria Ressa? Si Maria Ressa ay isang Filipino journalist at co-founder ng Rappler. Noong December 21, 2021, nag-deliver siya ng speech sa Oslo, Norway. So para sa akin, sobrang halaga ng Nobel Peace Prize ni Maria Ressa kasi hindi lang siya personal achievement siya ng buong bansa. It puts the Philippines on the global stage pagdating sa usapin tungkol sa press freedom, democracy, and human rights. Pinapakita rin ito na kahit sa kabila ng threats, arrest, and harassment, posible pa rin ipaglaban ng katotohanan.
Wow, that's nice. I actually read din na she was the 18th woman to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. And as of the date of her speech, the Philippine government actually filed 10 arrest warrants and she posted bail 10 times, which was just wow.
Grabe no, living proof talaga na siya ng strong independent woman. Imagine mo, dahil kahit may unfortunate circumstances, she continues to fight for the truth. Sobrang nakakabilib talaga yung katapangan niya.
So tama kayo dyan. And to add then, through this award, mas nagkaroon ng attention sa mga issues dito sa Pilipinas like fake news, attacks on journalists, at abuse of power. Hindi lang ito tungkol sa Pilipinas since it's actually a global issue. And there are a lot of situations na kagaya sa atin na problema ang threats to journalists, pag-spread ng hate, especially with social media. And it is evident in her speech kasi she actually named specific events kagaya ng pagpatay sa kanyang former colleague na si Jessie Malabanan. And mind you that it is only 36 hours before she was called to deliver her speech yung nangyari. Kaya it is really tragic and nakakalungkot. She also included the fatality rate of lawyers in the country due to violence in the presidency of Duterte at marami pang iba. Kaya her winning this award is very significant to us.
I agree, no, Dexter. As a Filipino, there are a lot of reasons to be proud that someone from our country has won the Nobel Peace Prize. And there are also a lot of reasons to be proud that our very own Maria Ressa is the recipient of such a prestigious award. Indeed, Maria Ressa delivered such an articulate speech, and all her words conveyed such a strong message talaga. And so, let's dissect what the main points of her speech were. Atasha, ano na yung mga public concerns na na-discuss ni Maria sa speech niya?
So, hello everyone. Totoo nga na ang galing ng speech ni Maria Ressa and mas malilinawan ka sa mensahe na gusto niyang iparating sa speech niya and talagang nakakapag sa Pinoy. So, in her speech, yung pinaka-main public concern that she was addressing was the collapse of truth in the digital age. She talked about kung paano naging platform yung social media to amplify lies and information rather than the facts. And dahil dito, naapektuhan tayong lahat kung paano tayo mag-isip, how we vote, and how we live and relate to society in general. She also called out yung mga big tech companies about their accountability and kinestyon niya yung platform nila that how they prioritize profit at engagement over public safety.
Oo nga, lalo na yung Facebook. Even though sila yung pinakamalaking distributor ng news sa buong mundo, mas mabilis pa kumalat yung mga impormasyon na nagsispread ng anger and hate kaysa sa mga facts.
And yung mga nagkocontrol ng global information system natin, which are mostly big American companies, sobrang bias pa nila against journalists at facts.
Right? Kaya sobrang concerning talaga na issue na to. And then, of course, another issue is yung press freedom. Aside from speaking of her experience as a journalist, she also raised awareness about multiple journalists who sacrificed so much, like Jamal Khashoggi, Daphne Galizia, Luzmeli Reyes, Frenchie Cumpio, and many more. So, hindi lang to tungkol sa personal experience niya, but she talked about the global pattern of it.
So, add ko na lang din example from the Philippines. Si Percy Lapid, broadcaster siya, kilala sa pag-criticize sa government officials. Inambush siya at namatay around 2022. Dito pa lang malalaman na natin na sobrang dangerous ng journalism sa Pilipinas.
Yeah, kaya sobrang impactful ng speech niya. Hindi lang siya nagreklamo about sa mga issues, but she also reframed it as a collective fight para sa katotohanan and kinabukasan nila.
Nakakalungkot lang talaga na yung mga journalists natin, not just in the Philippines, but also globally, really lack the protection and support that they need. Because to me, it seems like no matter where they go, they're always faced with a lot of hostility. So, I guess now we can move on to discussing the problematic situations that Maria Ressa aims to transform. Ashley, how was this question addressed in her speech?
Actually, when I was listening to Maria Ressa's speech, it felt like a wake-up call, no? It was inspiring to think na marami na talaga siyang nakita and nalaman, and even though it was meant to threaten her, it instead became an eye-opening experience for her.
Totoo, and you can really see how determined she was to share yung mga nalaman niya, like problems na currently meron ng Philippines.
And one of the main issues nga na na-address niya is yung information ecosystem ng Philippines. And sa panahon ngayon, grabe na talaga yung bilis ng pag-spread, diba, ng fake news sa atin, especially in big platforms nga like Facebook, as mentioned. And it's true, they are now designed to prioritize engagement, and we people are being targeted for power and money. And they keep us engaged by using your data natin, yung emotions natin, lalong-lalo na yung anger and fear, para mas maging vulnerable tayo sa lies and disinformation.
So, kaya pala yung ang galing na kuwang-kuha ako ng algorithm ko. Alam niya lagi pag may bagong interest, ganun.
Oo nga, pag nag-like ako, sunod-sunod na yan. Kahit i-google ko nga lang, makikita ko na rin sa Facebook, sa ads, pati na rin sa ibang devices.
Diba? And totoo, this was termed in her speech as surveillance capitalism. So basically, every time we like or share something, it increases engagement, which means more monies for companies. And ang nakakatakot dyan, mas napoprioritize na yung profit over truth. And it becomes more dangerous pa dahil naapektuhan din nito kung paano tayo mag-isip politically and eventually how we vote. So it's bigger than fake news, no? Parang it's about democracy na. And nadi-divide tayo without truth. And sabi nga ni Maria Ressa, without facts, you can't have truth. Without truth, you can't have trust. Without trust, we have no shared reality, no democracy. And she also highlighted yung attacks on journalists, like how she was arrested multiple times just to silence her. And one of the officers didn't even want to do that, but he was just following orders daw, sabi niya. And parang ironic lang na kung sino pa yung dapat alam yung tama, sila pa yung sumasalungat sa values nila to avoid trouble. So, kung lahat sumusunod lang kahit mali, then sinong magbabago ng sistema, di ba? And kung patatahimikin na lang lagi yung journalist, sinong mananagot?
Oh my. And I just wanted to add, no, as a CS major, computer science major, I find it a bit sad lang na the technology that's supposed to be helping us make knowledge more attainable is the same technology that also stops the spread of facts and truth, but instead spreads more information and hate. So, I guess, why don't we discuss now the new suggested forms of thoughts and actions that would bring about the change needed to tackle these problems that Maria Ressa mentioned. Romer, how was this presented in her speech?
So, ayun, sa speech niya, malinaw na hindi lang problema yung sinasabi niya, pati na rin yung mga solutions para dito. Una, yung protection sa mga journalist, hindi lang physical, pati na rin legal protection sa mga harassment, threats, and arrest. Kagaya nga ng sinabi ni Maria Ressa na nakasampung arrest warrants at bills na siya. Sunod naman yung kailangan din ma-regulate yung surveillance capitalism. Kailangan baguhin yung mga business models and algorithms para hindi tayo pagkakitaan sa mga data and informations natin. Ito rin, mahalaga to. Shift in mindset, labanan ng kasamaan laban sa kumakalat na misinformation sa social media at infosphere. Pinanggit niya rin na nabubuhay ang Rappler sa kabutihan at pagsuporta sa katotohanan. Bali nga, choose empathy, integrity, and truth over fear and hatred. And people will pay it forward. Ang pag-pay forward ay magiging chain reaction upang mas mapalaganap ang kaayusan sa information ecosystem. Ang kanyang speech ay hindi lamang warning, kundi isang roadmap para ayusin at pagandahin ang information ecosystem sa buong mundo.
Actually, agree ako dun sa shift in mindset, no? Kasi parang, ayan din yung napapansin ko ngayon sa online world. Parang, di sila marunong tumanggap ng truth kapag sobrang layo na sa beliefs nila. And I think malaking problem yun sa Philippines kasi kapag ganito, mas may tendency na hindi sila tumanggap ng mga pinapresent na solutions sa kanila. Kasi they think na wala naman talagang problem na present.
Thank you, guys. I think that Mayor Ressa's speech was very inspiring, impactful, and insightful. So before we end off this podcast, I just have one last question. This is open for anyone to answer, by the way. So my question is, sa tingin nyo, paano nakatulong sa inyo yung speech na ma-liberate kayo from your own feelings and perspectives? And do you think that the speech was successful in reaching its audience and in calling them to action for these problems?
So, masasabi ko lang is, yung Maria Ressa really did a great job in her speech. So, siguro kung papaano ito nakatulong sa akin na ma-liberate ako from my own sentiments, siguro one thing I can say is that she inspired me to be more vigilant about the societal issues we're facing, especially the fake news and yung pag-spread ng hate, notably in social media. She pushed me to think of the ways and of the things that I can actually do. The speech helped me reflect na gawin yung mga bagay na sabihin man ng iba na simple, pero makakatulong ito sa pagbawas ng hate, pag-spread ng fake news, especially sa time ng fast-growing technological advancements. I think din na she was very successful delivering her message because she spoke with honesty and courage and she actually connected with her audience.
Ako naman, for me, honestly, in a very real way, she kind of liberated me from the feeling na parang wala naman tayong magagawa sa fake news and online toxicity. Minsan kasi we tend to normalize it and parang part na lang siya ng everyday scrolling. But when Maria Ressa explained how disinformation systematically destroys truth and democracy, it reframed everything for me. And in a sense na hindi na siya simpleng online issue na lang. It became a moral and civic responsibility. Parang nagising ka na you do have a role in protecting the truth. And yes, I do think that she was successful in reaching her audience. Hindi lang dahil Nobel stage yun, but because she made the issue personal. She asked us what we're willing to sacrifice for the truth, and yung question na yun, it sticks. It moves you from being passive to reflective. So in that sense, successful siya. Kasi after hearing her, you can just go back to scrolling the same way again.
Personally, her speech made a huge impact din on me and I think sa others din, no? And it was just not deep kasi, but also relatable, lalo na yung social media as a medium for violence. And this was most evident ng 2022 presidential campaign. And nakita natin kung gaano nahati talaga yung mga Pilipino dahil sa different values natin politically to the point na naapektuhan na yung relationships ng isa't isa. And this was because of fake news and how people can be so close-minded when it comes to the truth. But as citizens ng bansang ito, niremind tayo ni Maria Ressa na responsibilidad din nating mag-fact check, maging aware sa mga nangyayari sa paligid natin, and ipagtanggol yung mga naka-expose talaga sa danger like journalists. And it is also our business to share the truth even though it means sacrificing something kasi at least we try to do what's right and it's just up to them if they wanted to accept it.
So, ako na yung last. Mag-share na rin ako. For me, staying silent is a choice. Bago pa yung lecture, nakikita ko na yung fake news online hate. Now, mayroon na rin AI nakakapag-edit na ng videos, images, and information yung mga tao. Kaya mas lalong nasa-spread yung misinformation. These are the problems yung kailangan natin na labanan para sa democracy at safety natin. Isa pang trait ng speech niya ay kalmado lang siya when facing adversities or talking about it. Something na we need to learn from her. Her speech also makes us rethink na independence natin sa social media kasi what happens online stays with us in our everyday life. The speech is challenging us to take responsibility kasi di natin may iwasan na gamitin yung technology and information sa pamumuhay natin within the society. Hindi lang niya kinall out yung mga government at journalists, pati na rin yung citizens kasi sa info ecosystem, change starts with its users. Kaya through this, she asked us for more consistency, to be more critical and intentional with the truth.
Well said, guys. I appreciate all of your insights. So this wraps up our podcast. Thank you everyone for watching and for tuning in with us. I hope that this conversation didn't just inform you, but also challenged you to reflect on your role in protecting the truth, especially in this digital age. Because even as individuals, we all have the shared responsibility of protecting facts and defending journalism in our own way. This has been Dash, along with Dexter, Atasha, Ashley, and Romer, and we thank you for tuning into our podcast. Thank you.